Hey everybody, today we are continuing our series on how to add rhythm to chord changes. So in this video, we're going to be talking about adding 3-note rhythm pattern to our second chord progression. So the second chord progression, it follows the major chord scale, and it goes like, have you ever wanted to learn how to play your favorite worship songs on piano? Well, I have something that's perfect for you. It's called Worship Piano Academy. It's an online space to help people of all skill levels learn to play worship piano exactly like the pros do. It's packed full of simple techniques that are easy to follow and tailored specifically for worship piano players. If you're brand new to piano, we have all the basic lessons to get you on track. If you've been playing for a while, we have tons of advanced lessons and tips for you too. So check out worshippianoacademy.com. Like this. And the reason we're using that is most worship songs follow this major scale chord progression. So if we look at the way it's typically played, it's a C or a 1, and then it's a 2 minor, and then it's a 1 over 3, which would be C over E, and then it'd be a 4, which is an F, and then a 5, which is a G, and then a 6 minor, which would be an A minor, and then a 5 over 7, which is a G over B, and then you end on the 1, which is where we started. And so the way we're doing it, we're using a similar chord progression, but our right hand is going to basically stay in this C, in this root C chord position, and we're going to bounce between a C sus4, and a C sus2. So we'll hit those 3 chords as the bass note walks up. It's the same pattern that we did in the last video, so it's only going to be 3 notes, and the structure of that pattern is the same. So with the left hand, you hit the top note, and then with your right hand, it's the first note and the last note of the chord that you're playing. So it doesn't matter which chord you're playing, and it doesn't matter the next chord that you're playing, that structure is always going to be the same. It's the top note of your left hand and the first and last note of your right hand. So if you're playing a C chord here, it'd be the first note and the last note. If you're playing C here, it'd be the first and the last. If you're playing C here, it'd be the first note and the last note. So again, the structure doesn't change. In this progression, we're keeping our hand in the root position of that C chord. So our first note and last note is going to be the same as we're going through these chord changes, because the C and the G are the same. And so we're going to be using 16th note rhythms to play that 3-note rhythm pattern. And just a quick recap, a quarter note basically means that there's 4 quarter notes inside the measure of music. And so when you count it, it's just like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you double that rhythm, then it turns into 8 notes. And so it counts like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then if you do 16th notes, which is what we're going to do in this progression, it sounds like this: 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So that's kind of how the tempo that we're playing this rhythm pattern. And so it's 3 notes, and it's going to be on the E and a going into the next chord. So if our first chord is a C, and then the next chord is that 2 minor following that major scale chord progression, we're going to play it as a C sus4 over a D bass. And so that rhythm pattern would be 1, 2, 3, 4, E and a, and then the next chord, 2, 3, 4, E and a, and then the next chord, 2, 3, 4, E and a, 1, 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 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as you can see, my thumb of my left hand and then my right hand meets. So you can pick and choose if you want to play it with your left hand or if you want to play the chord with your right hand. Either way, it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And you can even double up that chord progression faster so that there's a chord on the 1, 2, 3, and the 4 beat. And so when you do that, you're pretty much just playing constant rhythm. And so that sounds like this. And then another thing you can do is if the chords are separated a little bit, you can add additional rhythm playing quarter notes with your right hand. Say we go back to where there's only a chord on the 1 beat, then you can play quarter notes on the 2, 3, and 4, and then use that 3-note rhythm pattern to lead back into the next chord that's on the 1 beat. So it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It keeps going. Back down. And then obviously songs don't follow this progression, right? So they'll be bouncing in between a mix of these different chords. So I just want to show you just a few different chord progressions and how you can apply this. And so say the song that we're playing, say it's a 1, a 6 minor, and a 4, and then a 5. We'll start with the chords on the 1 beat. 2, 3, 4. And then we'll play the chords on the 1 and the 3 now. So and now let's say the chord progression is a 4, 1, 5, 6 minor. So it would be 4, 1, 5, and then a 6 minor. So we'll play the chords on the 1 beat. And then now we're going to play it on the 1 and the 3 beat. And now you can pick pretty much any chord progression you want in this pattern, and it'll still apply. So if we just pick just a random chord progression, to a 4, to a 1 over 3, to a 5, to a 5 over 7, to a 6 minor, to a 1 over 3, to a 2 minor, a 5, 6 minor, 4, 2 minor, 5 over 7, to the 1. Right, so you can choose any chord progression and this rhythm pattern will work with it. So practice that. And actually what I want to do is go through all 12 keys so that you know how to play it in all 12 keys. So we'll start in C. And let's go to D. A, and then B, and now let's do the sharps and flats. So we'll do C sharp, and then D sharp, and then F sharp, and then G sharp, and then B flat. And that's it. So I hope that helps. Work on that, and then I'll see you in the next video.